Billy Sunday was born in 1862 in a log cabin in Ames, Iowa, 1 month before his father died in the Civil War. Eventually, desperate poverty forced his mother to send her 2 sons to an orphanage. At 15, Billy ran away and found a job as a stable boy. In his spare time, he played amateur baseball and was soon attracting attention for his speed and knack at stealing bases. Sunday's life changed dramatically in 1883 when Cap Anson, owner of the Chicago White Stockings, discovered him. Anson invited Billy to Chicago for a tryout and challenged him to a foot race against the team's fastest player. Lacking money for proper shoes, Billy ran barefoot and won by 15 feet. Anson signed him on the spot, and Billy Sunday was soon known nationwide as the fastest man in baseball. The White Stockings were a hot franchise, and Sunday's fame and fortune rose with the teams. He played professional baseball for 8 years, earning 10 times the annual wage of an average working man. Like many ball players, he was hard living and hard drinking. One night in 1887, after a game in Chicago, Sunday went drinking with his teammates. As they sat on the steps outside a saloon, he overheard a group of urban missionaries singing hymns. Sunday experienced a religious conversion. 27 years ago, I walked down a street in Chicago in company with some ball players who were famous in this world. Some of them are dead now, and we went into a saloon. It was Sunday afternoon, and we got tanked up, and then went and sat down on a corner. I never go by that street without thanking God for saving me. It was a vacant lot at that time. We sat down on a curbing. Across the street, a company of men and women were playing on instruments, horns, flutes, and slide trombones, and the others were singing the gospel hymns that I used to hear my mother sing back in the log cabin in Iowa, and back in the old church where I used to go to Sunday school. And God painted on the canvas of my recollection and memory a vivid picture of the scenes of other days and other faces. Many have long since turned to dust. I sobbed, and a young man stepped out and said, "We're going down to the Pacific Garden Mission. Won't you come down to the mission? I am sure you will enjoy it." You can hear drunkards tell how they've been saved, and girls tell how they've been saved from the red light district. I arose and said to the boys, "I'm through. I'm going to Jesus Christ. We've come to the parting of the ways." And I turned my back on them. Some of them laughed, and some of them mocked me. One of them gave me encouragement. Others never said a word. 27 years ago, I turned and left that little group on the corner of State and Madison Streets, and walked to the little mission and fell on my knees, and staggered out of sin and into the arms of the Savior. Within a few years, he quit drinking, married, and became an evangelical preacher. In 1891, he gave up his baseball career and accepted an 80% pay cut to become a full-time evangelist. At first, Sunday led quiet revivals in small towns, but in time he developed a distinctive style of preaching, and crowds in the thousands began to attend his meetings. At first he held his massive gatherings in tents, but eventually he arranged for temporary wooden tabernacles to be constructed. So that he could be heard in an age before microphones, he spoke from a special raised platform with baffles overhead. Sawdust covered the wooden floors to muffle footsteps. At the close of each sermon, he would invite penitents to come forward and accept Jesus. Those who walked down the sawdust-covered aisles were said to be following the sawdust trail. Sunday was unlike any other preacher at the time, contemptuous of what he called flabby-cheeked, brittle-boned, weak-kneed, effeminate Christianity. As one observer wrote, he electrified his audiences. During his nearly 50-year career, he converted close to 300,000 people. During his nearly 50-year career, he converted close to 300,000 people.